I swap between the two names. You'll notice on this call.
I've got used to you calling me Bridget.
So I'll start. I'm Rach. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at York Street Brands and TBH.
I'm Bridget, and also her mum. So I spent 13 years in law firms working on the finance side. And then this family business opportunity arose. It's been quite a wild ride, but it's been awesome.
I think it's really important, like I would say for any traditional CMO, you need to be able to prove revenue. And it's almost like CMO roles can sometimes feel very much like a sales role because you have to generate revenue. And so I think it's really important to know how to mobilize that and quickly, reasonable expectations to undersell, over deliver, and sort of setting yourself up for success when you walk in the door as a CMO, you know, when you're dealing with broader stakeholders, is curbing expectations, setting clear timelines, and then knowing how to mobilize sales in the areas that are easiest to. And I think once you can do that, you've then got a really good platform where you've built trust. You can go back and sort of build on those foundation blocks, but the foundation blocks have to be there. I think that's probably one of the main touch points that we have with their customer, like directly. It's quite almost like an intimate one-to-one relationship that we can have live time with the customer through social channels. So I would say it's the biggest element of community building that we have at the brands. And it's almost like this year, really open conversation that we're constantly having with the customer. And I think that is really such a central part of our brand building. It's almost like everything else branches out from that. So like your earned media, your paid media, like a lot of what then happens often starts on organic social. So I would say from a brand building perspective, I often see it like the fire, and everything else is the gasoline that you pour on top. To be honest, no. It would be like the short way to put that. I think we have certain metrics that we're looking at in terms of engagement levels and, you know, overall awareness. And obviously we work with Tracksuit, so we know awareness wise, like if something does go really viral on social media, you often can track that directly, you know, maybe 2 months later in Tracksuit in terms of a lift in awareness. But in terms of, you know, a hard business metric, I think we've got a really great culture that sort of accepts organic marketing as just like part of the DNA of the culture.
Love data. So when Rachel put those charts in front of me, I was thrilled. I think it's good because it's just another reference point. It's independent as well. So to actually see us tracking upwards in that brand awareness, but to see that is actually just confirmation of the spend and brand awareness. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I actually think that's a really good way for marketing to convince finance.
Yeah, I think any data point you can provide is so useful. And we went and gathered market research. That was such a huge factor in me convincing everyone to make that decision. Like I don't think we would have done it without the data. Yeah, data is so important to a lot of people in the room. So Tracksuit again is just such a helpful tool in being able to say, you know, we've intentionally done this and look at the result. It's really the only way to have a metric on awareness outside of like what views and engagement on organic, like, yeah, or traffic to your website. Like it's just the only way you can get that high snapshot of how many people know about your brand. One of the examples that we were speaking about, which is I think such a relatable one between finance and marketing, is needing cash. So like cash flow is everything. The business can't survive without it. And particularly in the early days, you know, Bridge would be looking forward at the cash flow projections. And it's like, well, we need to hit this number. So turn on like, let's do a gift with purchase. Let's do a flash sale. Like, let's do a partnership. Like, you know, and it's like all these like things coming out the woodwork to like turn on a quick amount of cash. And me as a creative and particularly as a brand builder, I really didn't like that because I had a long-term picture and a long-term vision, and there were some activities that by the nature of just needing cash, we had to turn on that I felt like weren't helping the long-term strategy. It was like kicking the can down the road and not actually addressing the root cause of what was going on. But then, you know, Bridget would be like, well, too bad. Like, we have to do it, you know? And like, it was,
there won't be any road to walk on.
Yeah, she's like, well, there won't be a vision unless we do this.
100%. Very different experience from TBH.
It was like we're doing it right from the beginning and taking all the learnings from the other brands, but that's obviously a bit of a bet and, you know, quite a bold move, and finance definitely were implicated by that. You know, we decided that it was a wonderful idea to launch a third brand, but the brand has 5 SKUs and plus merch, so a whole bunch more SKUs, and there was a huge cash flow implication on finance early on. Like, we're talking October last year sort of thing, you know, way before you ever see any revenue realized from that investment. And I laugh because I think about the merch component. We said we wanted to build in really cute accessories to the Haircare brand because, you know, again, from a branding perspective, it was that way it was going to get it out of the home. And we wanted people to have really cute red hats and combs, toiletry bags. And we know that that's a really shareable aspect from TikTok and creators. We made sure the merch was beautiful quality and it was part of like that customer experience to wow them. But finance got the PO for the merch. It was over $170,000. And they were like, what the hell is this? But then we all saw it come together, and, you know, even Craig at the time, I think, was thinking, oh my goodness. But, you know, we all saw it come together recently, and Craig's like, this is how you launch a brand, you know, like this is how you do it properly. And I think everyone felt really proud and really aligned on launch, and it's gone really well. It's funny, like we look back in hindsight and laugh, but at the time, you know, that's really stressful finance. I think my favorite thing is just like the shared experience. I always say, I don't think it's every day just in life that you get to see what we're seeing. I think we relate to each other now in a different way because people outside of our lives, obviously that know us personally, like our family and friends and everything, they don't understand even the half of what we've gone through with the business. So it's kind of really nice to now have like that shared experience and shared understanding, which I don't feel like I would go insane probably if I didn't have someone else in my personal life that like was inside it and actually understood what I was going through.
Yeah, same for me. But I mean, I have to say this like as a mum, because all parents are so proud of their kids, right? And they'd be looking on and going, they're proud that anyone, you know, would look on and go, I'm really proud of what Rach has achieved. But because I'm with her in the business every day, I just look at her and sometimes go, where did you come from? Like, she's awesome. She's so resilient, and like she's managing this huge team and doing an amazing job. And I think I've only got those insights because I work with her. So that's something I have that no one can take away. So it's pretty awesome.